Passion and purpose. Well, it's funny because like, when I first met my partner, I was like, what's your passion? And he like doesn't have one. And I couldn't, like I was like, I don't understand. Like what gets you out of bed? Like what drives you? And he's just like, so like, I just get up, I just do things. He trudges through things when they get tough and he doesn't get excited. And like, where I'm like up and I'm at it and I'm like, yep, what can I do? Like, what can I say to you? Like to make you smile, to give you a compliment, to change your life. Like I make it a goal every time I have like a one-on-one with someone or a session or group session or whatever. And I'm like, all right, what's something that you can walk away from that you didn't know or that, you know, you walked away feeling better than when you came in? You know, like I've worked at places where people would leave feeling worse, not just like physically, you get tired, like you might hate me, like that's cool, but like, you know, like you should always walk out, you know, feeling stronger, feeling better, feeling happier, like some sort of positive things. Yeah, I guess in terms of passion, like I just like want to make a difference, and I know it sounds so cheesy and very like yourself, but I just think you know, that's what we're out here to do. And if everyone did that, if everyone went with a goal to like make someone's day better, or you know, like make someone happy, or like the world would be a completely different place. And I think there's a chance for that. I just think we all kind of got to pull together to do that. So yeah, like that's I guess that's my take on passion. And I think if you don't have a passion, you're not gonna really jump out of bed and like want to do things, I guess, every day, right? Which is fine. Like everyone has to have their own passion, even if it's money or whatever. Yeah. Like it's something. I guess like with society, like I don't know, I think like one thing that really annoys me when you talk about passion is like people who do jobs that they hate. Like, you know, I can't think of anything worse than spending 35 to 45 hours a week doing something that I didn't love or didn't enjoy. Yes, there's always circumstances where you have to do, you know, things for your family or for money, like, you know, that's life, that shit happens. But like, you're dying inside every day that you go to that job that you hate, you know, like, you know, unless you're doing something outside of that, like a passion project, or, you know, like you get home, like you're really passionate about something. But I just think, like society's kind of lost a bit of passion, and I don't know, I think it makes life a bit boring if you don't have a passion. 100%. I really wish I could like get into journaling. Because I've been to seminars, I love the idea like of journaling and being thankful for things, and I know like the science behind it, like changing your brain chemistry and everything, and I think it has a huge impact on things, but I think it's kind of a lost thing. It's like meditation, like people aren't mindful enough about it, you know, and it's not until something bad happens that you really get grateful for something, like, you know, like I'll never be able to walk normal again, so I'm like whenever people like say stuff about injuries or something, like hey, like you can run, you know, you can get from A to B, you're fully able, you're fully capable, like that's awesome. But I mean, gratitude's a big thing. You have to appreciate, you know, like I appreciate my partner bringing this into my life, you know, and I appreciate like everything he's done. He's done a lot of work, as you saw. You know, and I think if you're not grateful for what's happening in your life, then you're kind of missing the point, because it's like, yeah, going back to passion, if you're like not passionate about something and you're not grateful for it, then there's no appreciation for it at all. And then like, what's the point of life, you know? Yeah. Like, and I love when people like think about like, well, you know, what you're grateful for, and it's like, oh, my health, my happiness, like my family, but like tying that back into like what I do, I'm like, all right, well, you know, like, are you treating your body the way you should be treating it? Do you want to be around the next 20 years? Do you want to be around for your grandkids? Like, you know, and that's like what I think is like, again, like people they appreciate it when it's gone. Like when you get sick, like when you get cancer, when you whatever, like that's when it's like, oh, I wish I would have appreciated this a bit more. So again, like going back to my passion, that's what I want to help people avoid, is that man, I wish I had that back kind of thing. Yeah, I think they definitely can lead you to health and happiness. I guess with any like for this, for example, like if I didn't put the hard work and I didn't persist and didn't have grit, like this would be absolutely nothing. We wouldn't open in the next year, we'd open in 6 years. I think with anything, depending on like so when I played soccer, like I worked my tail off. Like I remember being, like I was like, I had a bowl cut, I was like a bit chubby. I remember being, I think I was like 12, and my coach was like, you should just be the goalie. And like, or like, you know, my parents were like, what? And I was like, I remember like going home and I'm like hating myself for it. I was like told my parents like, you don't have to play if you don't like it, like this and that. And I was like, nah. Like we had a soccer pitch like by our house, and I would just like go out like every night until like, you know, my mom would call me in for dinner, and I would just like kick and run. And like the next year and the next few years, I like kind of flourished, or you know, who knows? There could have been you know, some growth spurts going on, a little bit of body fat lost, you know, whatever. But yeah, like I worked really, really hard and got to the point where, I mean, soccer at that time was my biggest passion. And so obviously like working hard to that, and even though those are kind of like extrinsic goals. Yeah. I was like, am I saying that right? You know, like getting medals and getting to university and having university pay for my soccer, like, you know, that led me to where I am today, is like my degree and all that stuff, and like allowed me to go down the path where I can help people and I have the knowledge to help people. So yeah, of course it can lead you to help, like, I guess, happiness. Well, I think the most important relationship you can have is with yourself. Took me a very long time to accept that. Personally, like I was definitely like, I was always the girl with a boyfriend. Always the person like I love love. I love being loved. Like I love that feeling of needing, and I think because I like helping people and, you know, all that stuff. I like spoiling the other person. You know, all these like kind of cheesy things. But I think like it has to start with you. Like I see a lot of clients, and I think they are people in general, and they you know, aren't happy with themselves, or something that they've done in their past, or something that's happened to them, or, you know, the way they look or how they feel or whatever it is, and that bottles up and like builds inside you, and people don't realize, you know, like if it's like a hate that you have for yourself or about something about you, then that's gonna like radiate through your soul. Like as cheesy as it sounds, but it makes a huge difference. Like if you're thinking negative thoughts, right? I always say the body hears everything the mind says. So if you wake up every day and you look in the mirror and you go, fuck, I'm ugly, or whatever, like I look terrible, then your body goes, yep, you look terrible. And like it just kind of like builds that pattern of like negative thoughts in your head, and then you like really despising yourself and the way you look. And it can be anything. You can be like, oh, I'm stupid, or, you know, a lot of people have that chatter in their head that needs to be stopped. And I think if you don't, as much as like, you know, we love relationships with other people and our friends and all that stuff, like if you aren't like happy with what you're doing or where you're at, or you know, whatever, if you're not in love with yourself, then you're not gonna, it sounds so cheesy, it's like a Hallmark card or like an Instagram post, but you know, if you're not like at least like at terms with how things are with you, then you're not going to be able to like fully let anyone in, or, you know, like fully love someone else, because like you have blockages in yourself. Well, if you're not having any fun, then like what's the point of living, I guess? You know, like I love my job because I'm passionate about it, but it's fun conversation with people. It's fun to kind of like figure out how people work and different personalities, and, you know, how different ways I can kind of like make people like soar and stuff like that. I enjoy that. That's my fun. And even from a perspective of like having balance, like we were saying, you know, if you don't have that 15-20% of bad or cheat meals or whatever you want to say, like, and if that's your fun, if you don't have that, then I think it makes the other stuff seem like work and seem difficult. And yeah, I don't think you can achieve full happy. I don't think there's someone who's like, you don't see like lawyers that have like super strict lives and regimens and like don't go out and do things. They're not gonna say, yeah, I'm really happy with my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, look, happiness, I guess in terms of fun will be like different for everyone. Like my fun is like watching Suits until like 9 p.m. on a Friday night with some Uber Eats, you know, like gluten-free burger. But someone else's fun might be, you know, like going rock climbing on the weekend. That's awesome. Like I think as long as it's like your fun is a safe and legal thing, like I think that's a good way to add value to your life. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, from just like a scientific perspective, I know if you give someone a compliment, you automatically feel better. Like there's research behind, like if you tell someone something nice or make them smile or smile at them, like you automatically get like a dopamine kickback. It's like you're happy, like makes you feel good, right? And that makes you want to do it more. So yeah, like I think kindness, oh, maybe not for everyone. For myself personally, like I love doing things for other people. Like I love giving surprises. I love like, you know, making someone feel good. I love like, especially the best part about kindness is when like someone tells you you've made their day. Like you didn't know it. Like not that that's why you should do it, but if you know, maybe sometimes on a shit day, we don't always know what people are going through, but if you tell them or, you know, be like, oh man, like you're looking great, like, oh, your squat form looks awesome, like people love that stuff, you know, and then they go, oh man, like thank you, and like usually it comes out a few days later, they're like I was really having a tough day and this and that, and yeah, I think like going back to feeding positive vibes around the world, if everyone was a bit more kinder or gave out one compliment a day or whatever. I try and do that with people. I'm like, all right, if I sit down with a client and they're, you know, stuck or feeling quite negative, I'm like, all right, Mike, your goal for the next week is to give 3 compliments to like people, like could be at work, whatever. And so it might be like, I really like your shirt, or like your haircut looks awesome, you know. But that like, I can't say that without smiling. Like, you know, I'm gonna be like, your haircut looks great. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So I think kindness goes a long way. But you know, I think it does make a difference if you set achievable expectations, and because I believe that a lot of little wins will eventually lead up to a big win, and I think it's easy, you know, to not set yourself up for failure, because that makes me sound really negative. But like I love it. Like clients sit down and says, all right, I want to lose X amount of kilos, or I want to do this race, or I want to do that. I'm like, awesome. Okay, well we can get there, but we gotta like break it up into smaller steps. So like making the expectation real and making the expectation, like you've got to be able to commit. You know, like expectations are great and goals are great, but it can be something that you're not willing to work for, or not willing to do yourself. And I think that it's like, again, good to have expectations, but it can be a bit of an outside source. Like I don't think you want to, like with this model, all right, like when I was doing this photo shoot, I was like, all right, like I'm a girl, so like obviously I'm like, oh, if I have a 6-pack, I'll go real happy. But like I got to that point, I was like hungry, I was starved, I was deprived of water, and I was miserable, and I couldn't think straight. And now it took me 2 weeks to get back to 3 weeks to get back to normal, and now I've like looked back and like, all right, well, you know, that was great, and I completed my goals, but the expectations sucked. Do you know, like it wasn't a fun time. Like, okay, yeah, it looked awesome, and I got these awesome photos, but like, you know, it's not real life. So, you know, like the expectation I have for myself now of where I want to be aesthetically, like, you know, as vain as that sounds, like I know what's capable in terms of health, if that makes sense, and functionality. So yeah, expectations can be good, goals can be good, but we just gotta keep real. We don't check in anymore. You know, we don't sit and reflect. We don't go, man, how was today? Like it's like a lost art a little bit, you know. And so yeah, I really am terrible, but I'm really working on it, and I think that's the main thing. And I guess like to be aware of it is going to make a huge difference as well. But it is like, I try and make clients at the end lay down and do some breathing. But it's a tough one because it kind of seems floofy, you know, like a bit out there, but it's not. Like, you know, everyone, like I can tell on days when I do it or when I skip it, like how I feel like about like starting my day, and if I'm on like, oh, sometimes I actually find a connection with breathing and my social media time. So like when I don't do my breathing, I'm like, I will, you know, get lost down like peanut butter porn on Instagram, like weird hashtags. But on days that I do breathe, I actually find that I'm like less likely to just remote to that mode. I don't know. Look, N=1 study, but for me personally, it makes a huge difference of like how much time I waste staring at things that don't matter. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's prevalent. I think it's now getting more and more to the light of things. Like people are being like, all right, like you look at how you move, you know, how you eat, how you sleep, like, you know, what's your breathing like? Like how do you breathe? It's something again you do all day long. Like do you breathe well? Like do you breathe through your chest? Do you breathe through your stomach? Like your mouth breather? Do you snore at night? Like all these things are now like a massive deal. So I think we're just kind of like dipping our toe in the water with mindfulness and breathing and stuff. So it's getting there.